Hello and welcome to the podcast Audio Feedback in Higher Education. I am an academic in the UK and I've been giving feedback to my students via audio for many years. So just to clear what I mean by audio feedback, instead of writing out comments on essays, assignments, dissertations and such like, I send to the student an audio file of me talking through their work. I first switched to audio feedback because in the time we got available to do your marking, I thought I would provide better feedback if I recorded it rather than if I wrote it. I found it took quite a lot of time to write out feedback, to get the meaning right, the tone right, the style right. And actually, it was quicker for me to record it. I've now made more than 2,000 recordings and I'm very much of the view that audio is a great way to give feedback. So let me explain why I've created this podcast and in particular why I'm posting some examples of real audio feedback that I've given to my students. If I go back to when I began, I looked around for guidance and examples. Being an academic, I checked the literature and found some research studies which were favourable about using audio feedback, but I didn't come across any examples that I could listen to. Now, I think that held me back. I was rather reluctant to actually get going, and so it took a bit of time for me to be brave enough to pick up the mic and record some audio. Now, if we go forward in time, there have been more studies on audio feedback, and you'll find it described as a suitable technique in books and guidance aimed at higher education. But I still can't find actual examples, and if they are out there, they're hidden away. I haven't managed to uncover them. My guess is that being able to listen to examples of audio feedback could help some academics to better understand it and to adopt it. Of course, it could also put some off using it, but that's okay with me. Each should find what works for them and their students. It occurred to me that I have a sizable back catalogue of audio feedback. And so I should go ahead and fill the gap, and hence I've created this podcast. In the first season of the podcast, I'm posting examples of actual audio feedback that I've given to students. I've made no edits other than to remove any mention of the student or other people. Now that means that I've removed often the introduction. So when I record feedback, my normal opening is along the lines of, "Hello student XYZ, here is feedback on your assignment for ... Now I've deleted that short introduction from each example. So as a consequence, when you listen to them, they'll sort of start mid-sentence, but you'll understand why. Also, when you listen to the examples, you'll hear notable differences between them in what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. I've included examples of me praising excellent work through to examples of me letting a student know their work is not of the standard that is expected. At a later time, and if this podcast attracts an audience, I may post episodes about the process of recording audio or other aspects of audio feedback. You can contact the podcast by sending an email to audiofeedbackinhe@gmail.com. That's audiofeedbackinhe, all continuous letters, no dots or dashes or gaps or anything. audiofeedbackinhe@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.